A man serving life without parole in prison now faces another murder charge after investigators say he orchestrated a man's death over the phone. Deputies announced the arrest of 30-year-old Keith Bedingfield Jr. for the slaying of Pinal Kumar Patel. Back in January, 3 gunmen confronted Patel, his wife and daughter in the driveway of the Thoroughbred Lane home. Patel died, but his family survived the shooting. Officials say Bedingfield gave the gunman the orders to kill Patel. He is already serving a life sentence without the chance of parole for the 2018 murder of another named man.
And Sirius Academy Charter School is officially on probation. The State Charter School Commission cited chronically poor academic performance, a long track record of failing to meet state standards, and the governing board's demonstrated inability to effectively lead in their probation notice. The school has until October 15th to submit an action plan to fix their problems and will be required to send in progress reports until its probation ends or expires in January.
Macon Water customers will soon see a price hike on their bills. The Macon Water Authority announcing that they will begin normalizing their sewage rates. That will show up as around $2 added to your monthly bill. One MWA member says it will help with the service's budget that has seen supply price increases. He says normalization will add another $1 million to their bottom line.
Download the WGXA News app or go to WGXA.tv for more on today's top stories. Well, Greg, another beautiful day, and tomorrow is the first day of fall, which means temperatures are dropping, low humidity, you know, all of those great things that we won't have to complain to the meteorologist anymore about.
I know, and speaking of that, meteorologist Ryan Mirando is out at Howard High. They're taking on Perry tonight, and I know you are happy about being outside.
I know, Greg. The wind right now, it just is giving me life. There is a little bit too much sunshine, I'd say. I definitely have my sunglasses on. I have them in my bag for when I'm off camera, but it's a really nice evening for football, for going out. It's going to be very comfortable. Our main weather maker this weekend is going to be from Tropical Storm Ophelia, which we're not going to be feeling the direct impact, any rain from the system, but we're going to have this breeze basically through Saturday and Sunday. But temperature-wise, it is so comfortable today. 84 right now in Macon, 81 in Warner Robins, 82 right now in Cochrane, and 83 degrees in Sparta. So for the football forecast, lots of sunshine, a little bit of a breeze, 77 degrees at kickoff time. We'll keep the clear skies as temperatures drop into the low 60s and the upper 60s by the final play. So looking ahead at what's coming up, it's breezy tonight and for the rest of the day tomorrow, but we have refreshing, dry humidity all weekend. I'll talk about, though, our next biggest chance of rain coming up in the full Skywatch weather forecast. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mirando. Now's a great time to download that WGXA weather app. Just scan the QR code on your screen to download it instantly to your smartphone or smart device. Ryan is back shortly with your 10-day forecast.
New Jersey Democratic Senator Bob Menendez and his wife have been indicted on bribery charges.
Anna Eliopoulos has more from New York.
He's one of the most powerful senators on Capitol Hill. But now Bob Menendez, along with his wife Nadine, facing multiple criminal charges related to what prosecutors say was a sweeping pattern of abuse of power, claiming the longtime New Jersey senator accepted bribes in exchange for using his office to help 3 businessmen and the government of Egypt.
The senator and his wife accepted hundreds of thousands of dollars of bribes in exchange for Senator Menendez using his power and influence to protect and to enrich those businessmen.
The businessmen are also named in the indictment, which alleges the senator used his power to protect them from prosecution and also took bribes from the Egyptian government in exchange for pushing for more aid to the country. When they raided his house, the FBI found about $500,000 in cash and another 100,000 worth of gold bars.
Some of the cash was stuffed in the senator's jacket pockets. Some of the envelopes of cash contained Davy's fingerprints or Davy's DNA. That's not all. Agents also discovered a lot of gold.
This isn't the first indictment for Menendez. He was previously charged with accepting bribes from a Florida doctor. Prosecutors dropped that case when the jury came back deadlocked. But this time, they say they'll go wherever the evidence takes them.
The FBI investigating public corruption is one of our top priorities, and we will continue to investigate public corruption cases.
Senator Menendez, his wife, and the 3 co-defendants are expected to appear in federal court in Manhattan on Wednesday. In New York, Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas attended 2 donor events for the Cook Network, according to a new report from ProPublica that includes the conservative political organization's annual Winter Donor Summit in 2018. Sources tell ProPublica the hope was that the access to Thomas would encourage donors to keep giving. The outlet points out that means Thomas served as a fundraising draw for a network that brought cases before the Supreme Court. A spokesperson for the Cook Network says Thomas was not present for fundraising conversations. GM and Stellantis face walkouts at 38 more facilities. The UAW is sparing Ford from further stoppages, at least for now.
GM and Stellantis parts plants distributors will also see stoppages. Additional walkouts are meant to put pressure on the big 3 automakers in Detroit as workers demand higher pay and an end to their salary system agreed to years ago.
UAW's president is calling this a moment for the working class.
The stand-up strike movement is not just about the big 3. Everywhere, UAW members in the working class are ready to stand up against corporate greed and stand up for our communities.
Stoppages on parts plants means vehicle owners will wait longer for repairs and dealers will lose service revenue. All 3 car makers have made concessions, but they're in the middle of a transition to electric vehicles, and that is a pricey process.
President Biden gets an invitation to the UAW's picket line.
We invite and encourage everyone who supports our cause to join us on the picket line, from our friends and families all the way up to the President of the United States. We invite you to join us in our fight.
This as the UAW strikes against the 3 big automakers continue. The union has yet to endorse Biden's re-election bid and pushed back against the president's recent claim that the strike was a result in a breakdown in negotiations. The UAW's president also blasted former President Trump, calling him a member of the billionaire class. Trump is rallying with members later this month.
A new government watchdog reports finds that poor living conditions for some of our nation's service members are awful. Among the issues are sewage overflows, mold, and more.
Janae Bowens has an in-depth look at the nation's military barracks.
America is the land of the free because of the brave, but the living conditions of some in the U.S. military fall short of what you'd expect for those who serve.
And I have to say, walking through some of those barracks, I was appalled.
A newly released Government Accountability Office investigation found several health and safety risks. We're talking mold, broken HVACs or none at all, inoperable fire systems, and even exposed sewage, like what you see here in this military training restroom, and unwanted pests captured in this room. The top Republican on the Senate Armed Services Committee, Roger Wicker, calls the findings shameful and troubling for the future of our force. In a statement, Assistant Defense Secretary Brendan Owens says, quote, "I commit to act. I will move out aggressively to increase oversight and accountability in government-owned unaccompanied housing and to address unacceptable living conditions impacting our service members." The housing issues come as the Pentagon faces major recruiting challenges. The Army, Navy, and Air Force all expecting to fall thousands short of their recruiting goals.
We heard from service members who we interviewed when we went to visit installations that they were telling their friends back home who were considering joining the military, don't do it because you're not going to be living in any conditions that you want to live in.
This report will surely be a hot topic at next week's congressional hearing on military housing. Elizabeth Field from the GAO will be one of the witnesses. In Washington, I'm Janae Bowens.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott is calling the surge of illegal migration at the southern border an invasion.
Kayla Gaskins brings us the latest from Washington.
A deteriorating situation at the southern border. Levels of illegal migration approaching all-time records, on track to surpass them. The small community of Eagle Pass, Texas, with a population of 28,000, dealing with an influx of 5,000 illegal migrants the past few days alone. The town's Democratic mayor declaring a state of emergency.
You have all these thousands of people just walking in without any consequence whatsoever.
Blaming the federal government, saying Eagle Pass feels abandoned by Washington.
Anyone from the administration, please come visit Eagle Pass. At the very least, Somebody up there in the White House needs to put out a statement giving us a plan.
The White House taking fire from reporters.
What do you call it when 10,000 people illegally cross the border in a single day?
On day one, the first day of this president's administration, he put forth a comprehensive immigration reform that we believe that was desperately needed for this country.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott declaring an invasion at our border, slamming Biden's policies. The White House and Texas playing tug of war. Federal Border Patrol agents seen cutting razor wire, allowing migrants in so they can be processed, apparently acting on orders from D.C. In response, the state installing even more wire.
Many people believe the answer to this crisis is New York City.
New York's leaders say the surge has maxed out their resources. Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul sounding very different this week.
We're at our limit. If you're going to leave your country, go somewhere else.
Than she did in 2021.
You're welcome with open arms, and we'll work to keep you safe. We'll not only house you, but we'll protect you.
President Biden deploying an additional 800 troops to the border to help process the migrants. In Washington, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
Now this week, Cheryl Atkinson sat down for an interview with former President Trump and asked what actions he would take at the southern border.
I understand moving forward you would plan to reinstall some of the border controls that you had if you were elected again.
Yeah.
But how do we deal with, or do we deal with, the millions that have come in since?
You have to have a mass deportation program. That's right. And you know what? When you say that, everyone's going to stop coming. You know, one of the reasons I was successful is they knew it was going to be very, very hard to come in, because when I was elected, I said, we're not going to have anybody coming in illegally into our country. And we went through a long period of time where that statement really resonated, and it resonated strongly. Then we built almost 500 miles of wall. We had tremendous success with the wall. This is a tragedy. This is perhaps the worst thing ever to happen to our country. We have millions of people occupying our country. It's an invasion.
That interview with former President Trump can be seen this Sunday on Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson, and that's this Sunday at 10 right here on Fox 24.
Well, it's a busy weekend here in the Mid-State. After the break, we take a look ahead at the fun activities and celebrations on the schedule.
A yearly tradition is back again for one of Georgia's most famous bands that called Making Home.
It's day 2 of the Georgia Allman Brothers Band Association hosting their annual celebration of the band. People from out of town and even around the world are flocking to Middle Georgia this weekend, remembering an era of music and keeping the band's legacy alive.
6 skinny hippies just, out wanting to make music, and they were an interracial band too. They brought people together that just, and the music was so good that it just made everybody feel good and have a great time. We have people from Japan, Germany, and all over the world.
Throughout the afternoon, all the way through Sunday, wrapping up at the Big House Museum. You can find a full list of events on our website.
And Perry is spending the weekend celebrating all the different cultures that call the city home.
It sure is, Amanda. It's the return of the annual International Festival. The cultural event will feature food, music, dance, and art from 25 countries. The goal of the free event is to get a deeper understanding of all the different cultures that can be found throughout the Mid-State.
There will be a special street fiesta in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month and a Blocktoberfest to start Oktoberfest. And it all goes down tomorrow in downtown Perry.
Sounds like a lot of fun there. Over in Forsyth, the party kicks off today, celebrating the city's 200th birthday. The events in downtown square will have live music, fireworks, and lots more that the whole family can enjoy.
You can even get a view of the city from the sky with hot air balloon rides.
Well, 200 years is a long time, and we have a lot of great stories, and we celebrate those who came before us and are looking forward to the future, and this is a way to kind of get together and honor that.
The city says the two-day event is a once-in-a-lifetime occasion.
The weekend will kick off Macon celebration of love, unity, and diversity in the Mid-State as it's Pride Week. The annual event hosted by Macon Pride promises to mix entertainment along with calls for action to bring the community together. Macon Pride says there is something for everyone, including a Pride pageant, Broadway Does Pride, and a party hosted by RuPaul's Drag Race star mistress Isabel Brooks. But there will also be time for impactful conversations with the Rainbow Table Talk.
The United Way of Central Georgia is making sure to making the way to kids to go to school is clean. The organization is inviting the community to go out to the Pleasant Hill neighborhood tomorrow to join them for the Oath to Success cleanup. Now, the cleanup will focus on the walking route by L.H. Williams Elementary School and Rec Center. The United Way says that a clean way to school will help encourage school attendance.
And Atrium Health Navison is hoping to encourage community health with a family fun day Saturday. Along with offering health screenings for breast cancer, blood pressure, and vaccinations, there will be plenty of fun for kids like face painting and the chance to win some prizes. You can even get a taste of something new, but with food trucks stopping by. It starts tomorrow morning at the Peyton Anderson Cancer Center in downtown Macon.
Happy Football Friday and the last day of summer. I'm out here for tonight at Perry at Howard game that begins at 7:30. Some players actually now just beginning to come on field. I don't know if you could see that, but some players might be streaming in behind me for the big game tonight. And the weather is definitely going to be cooperating. We have a nice breeze out here and temperatures aren't too bad. It's pretty sunny. 84 degrees right now in Macon, 82 in Forsyth, 79 in Thomaston, 81 degrees in Mount Vernon, and 79 right now in Wrightsville. Our big weather maker over the weekend is going to be the swirl of rain that's coming out over North Carolina this weekend. This is Tropical Storm Ophelia, our 15th named storm. We're not going to have any direct impacts from this, but since we're so close to the storm, we will have this breeze really the whole weekend. The storm that will continue to move north, and once it makes landfall in North Carolina, it's really going to stomp on the brakes over the weekend and very slowly move over Virginia up towards Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Delaware, dumping potentially flooding up to 3 to 5 inches of rain with some high winds as well. Luckily, we're just going to have a little bit of a breeze from this. Tomorrow afternoon, those winds still gusting up to a little over 15 miles per hour. I think Sunday, there still will be a little bit of a breeze out there, not nearly as noticeable as today or tomorrow. Winds gusting at maybe to 10 miles per hour, but still have a little bit of a breeze with bright sunshine, though, both days. Not going to have to worry about any rain. So planning out the rest of your Friday night, it's very comfortable. 77 degrees at 7 o'clock, 67 degrees by 10, and temperatures will cool down into the low 60s and upper 50s through the overnight hours tonight. But tomorrow's a day like today. If you have anything to do outside, going to be spectacular, perfect. Grab the sunglasses. 60 degrees at 7 o'clock, 83 degrees by 1, going up to temperatures into the mid-80s through the day tomorrow. But we're really staying dry for the foreseeable future until about Wednesday and Thursday of next week. I think we'll have another wedge setup begin to push in where we'll have more clouds and a few more rain showers, but that's still about 5 or so days away. We'll have plenty of time to track it out, but for the short term, I'm not going to have to worry about any rain. And in fact, we're going to have to deal with this lovely humidity. Dew points the next 3 days in the 50s. That is that refreshing, just no humidity in the air at all. Going to be absolutely great to do anything outdoors this weekend. Tuesday and Wednesday, when we get those increasing rain chances, those dew points will back up near 65 degrees. It'll be a bit humid for those weekends, for those days when the rain chances also begin to pick up. So in your 10-day forecast, tomorrow is the first official day of fall, arriving at 2:50 in the morning. So waking up tomorrow, we're going to be in the fall season, up to 87 degrees with a little bit of that breeze. Sunday, it'll still be a little windy at times, but bright sunshine. 81, up to 88. Monday, though, looking to be the warmest out of the next 7, up to 89 degrees, almost feeling like summer with a mixture of sun and clouds. Then the humidity and the rain chances begin to increase on Tuesday. I don't think we have any wash out of the days ahead, but definitely a lot of clouds on Wednesday. High temperature, though, only of 81 degrees with some cloudy skies, dreary conditions. Thursday, we'll have increasing sun throughout the day. The high only up to 78 degrees. And next Friday, mostly sunny, looking really good as well. High temperature of 83 degrees. And lastly, here's your Harrison's Body Shop Fish and Game forecast. Peaks in the good category at 7:20 a.m. and again at 9:40 p.m.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gary Thigpen. I'm here again today at All About Animals Rescue in Macon Bibb. I'm joined today again with Lisa, and also we've got Nicole with us today. And guess who we're going to talk to you about right now?
This precious girl, her name is Kim.
Kim.
Yep. Now, y'all, Kim's story is a little sad. She's only about 2 years old, but she's been here with us almost her whole life.
Oh.
Yeah, she's excited. And she doesn't understand why people come here and they look at other dogs and they adopt other dogs and they're passing her by.
Let's don't pass her by. She is a sweet girl. Look at Kim. Wouldn't you love to have her in addition to your family? And about how old is Kim?
She's around 2 years old, and she's another, like, would prefer to be an only dog. So she wants to be your one and only for life.
All right, you see she's got plenty of energy there if you want to put her out in the yard and let her run. So if someone would like to adopt Kim, how do they go about doing that?
Please send us a message on Facebook, All About Animals Rescue. Let us know you saw the adorable Kim on TV and you'd like to set up a meet and greet with her. We really want to find her a home. She's been here almost 2 years.
Yes, let's don't let Kim keep being overlooked. Let's do that today and find her a really good home. Thank you, Lisa and Nicole.
Thank you so very much.
Georgia Farm welcomed children with special abilities to spend the day learning about farm life. Green Acres Farm in Dodge County hosted children from 8 mid-state school districts. The children had the opportunity to play and learn about agriculture, but educators say they also learned many other valuable lessons.
They're learning a bunch of skills, you know, waiting, turn taking, sharing, all of those things. So learning a bunch of stuff, but obviously having a great time too. So it's a really good day and a really good opportunity.
Fellowship, it's the fellowship with new teachers, new students, and just showing the love, you know, to each and every one that's out here today, that they have a great time and just be happy.
Organizers hope to make this Farm Field Day an annual tradition, and if we can stay on the video for just a second, because I added some extra to the back of it, you guys. Amanda, they got to look at the chickens, see the chickens up close. It was such a wonderful time. They're feeding them little pumpkin thing that you can go down a millet maze and get lost. And I'm telling you what, on that corn, they really had a good time. It was hard to get them out of there, and I told their teachers, I said, if I were in that corn box, I don't know that you could get me out of it either. So,
how sweet was that? Do you think it was one of those wholesome Fridays? Did you want to come back to work?
I didn't want to come back to work, and I got to tell you too, Green Acres, it's owned by Leanne and Earl Green, and they are two of the nicest people with such a heart for this community and for children, and they're just so welcoming and inviting, and
That's
they love
amazing.
sharing their agriculture and their knowledge of it with everyone, and especially children.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you did come back to work, but
I
maybe
know
we'll
it's
go
hard.
visit them.
Well, I need
soon.
to take you out there. They would love to meet you, and it would be a great evening. Well, that's it for WGXA News at 5:30.
We invite you to join us at 6 on ABC 16. Have a great evening.